What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us, well, just about everywhere. Rad TV, now, we've just launched our very own fast channel. That's right, 24 hours of ITG. You can't miss it over there. We're also coming to you over on Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, Roku, Amazon Prime. Man, there's so many places to find us over on YouTube at the official ITG, and so much more. Scott, we have a lot to talk about today. What's on the show?
We have Activision and Blizzard games on Game Pass, or will they be? We have Halo Infinite's Reckoning Season 5, XDEFIANT has been delayed again, and Ubisoft is discounting the Crew MOTORFEST already.
Wow. Coming up next week is going to be a hot week. We've got 3 videos dropping on Monday. It will be live on Rad TV as well. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Spider-Man 2. Dude, we'll be talking about that. But first,
that's a big one.
It's a huge one. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into it. It's Activision Blizzard. Call of Duty coming to Game Pass? Maybe. Scott, dude, we are back and we're coming in swinging with Activision bringing their games to Game Pass. Dude, Call of Duty, Diablo, are they on the way is the question. Over on their official Twitter post by Activision Blizzard, it was, quote, "It's awesome to see anticipation building for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 as we continue to work towards regulatory approval for the Microsoft deal. We've been getting some questions whether our upcoming and recent launch games will be available via Game Pass. While we do not have plans to put Modern Warfare 3 or Diablo 4 into Game Pass this year, once the deal closes, we expect to start working with Xbox to bring our titles to more players around the world, and we anticipate that we would begin adding games into Game Pass sometime in the course of next year." End quote. Scott, dude, this goes through, it's only a matter of time, right? They say it's another year, but granted, this is October. Like, our year is almost done. They're still doing paperwork. It's going to take them to next year to get all that buttoned up, right? Cross their T's, dot their I's, and all that kind of stuff to make sure that, boom, now we're owned by Microsoft. Let's go. And then we're going to have a flourish of titles come our way on the Game Pass service that are Activision Blizzard. Do you expect to see Diablo 4 there?
Oh, Diablo 4 is going to be the big one. And I think that will be one of the early editions, because that's kind of the current big thing coming out of Blizzard, and I think that'll attract a lot of people. But that said, Diablo 4 does have its problems, so it's not the most popular game.
Well, it does, but again, then we also get in the other side of it, Call of Duty. Dude, there's a ton of Call of Duty games. They're going to get bombarded over on the world of... Here's the thing, too. Once they come to Game Pass, do you think we get the most current? Because Microsoft's stance and Xbox's stance is all first-party titles, day one, come to Game Pass, right? That's what they've stated since Game Pass started. Granted, this has worked longevity-wise for some games who maybe kind of started off warm, then sunk, and then have rose above the tide. Talk about you, Sea of Thieves. See what I did there? And that's how, but now that game is at a whole other place, right? Dude, a week off, I'm full of energy today. I'm telling you. Let's go. I'm wound up. It's exciting to think now, instead of, this is where you get into the competition of things, right? PlayStation, Xbox. If you buy Call of Duty every year, every single year, that is your go-to game. And if you just have Game Pass, do you really need to worry about it anymore? If you have PlayStation, though, does that enough to convert you over to Xbox, Scott?
Yeah, it very well... Well, I want to say it very well might be, because after all of the releases, we get a yearly Call of Duty. If you do the math in your head, then it almost is worth it just to get the Game Pass alternative. But you've made me wonder now, when the deal goes through, do you think we'll get Call of Duty in a big burst? Or do you think they'll trickle it out? Because there are 11 or so Call of Duty titles, I think, in question right now.
I think we'll get them in chunks. I don't think we'll get them all here. Boom, day one, there they are. I think, how did Bethesda's deal go down? Do you remember? Once we had Bethesda align with Microsoft, right, under the ZeniMax brand, we started getting games. We didn't get them all at once, but all of a sudden, then we have Dishonored, we have Prey, right? We have Elder Scrolls, we have Skyrim's there. We have all these titles from them. Wolfenstein. Like the list goes on and on and on, right? But I don't think we got them all at once. I think it was kind of scattered, sporadic. Hey, we're dropping this now.
I think it was.
And now we're dropping this one. Because they got a service, they got to kind of, you know, trickle in some of these things to make it work. But it also builds the hype behind the brand of Game Pass and what Microsoft has been working towards. Dude, it's still one of the best deals in gaming. Hands down. Right?
Has to be, yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. The other day, we got a bunch of other games. Finally got around to checking out Gotham Knights. Dude, that game's bad. I'm still, that game is not a good game. And I was disappointed
myself.
Now, we didn't get a review code at the time. And I was like, well, I'm going to wait. And then reviews dropped. I was like, oof. Nope. And then my son kept bugging me. Dad, buy it. Dad, buy it. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not going to pick up this game. We have another, like, 100 games to play already. And we have Game Pass. Maybe one day it'll come to Plus or Game Pass, and this, that, and the other. Sure enough, shows up the Game Pass. I'm like, boom, instantly downloaded, right? Dude, I was 5 minutes in going, nope. Nope.
I think that's how I played Midnight Suns. I had a similar experience. I thought, not really for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
When this Blizzard Activision thing does go down, is there a specific IP you want to see on Game Pass?
Ooh, good
StarCraft
question.
is being talked about.
Sure.
For myself, it's Singularity, a very lesser-known first-person shooter title.
Will they bring the Crash games? Right? Activision Blizzard owns
Ooh.
Crash. I know they're made by Naughty Dog back in the day, but now here's our opportunity to get Crash. We do have the new modern ones that are out. Those will come over. Honestly, I was hoping for Diablo 4. Not my particular style of game, but it had such a crave and such a fan base following. My brother dove in for hours. He's now mad, as all can be about it. Right? But I wanted to get in there and hang out with everybody, have a good time, and start playing that because there's so many people who did. And I just don't want to drop the money and go, nah, this isn't for me. Right? We got a code for the show. I believe Corey reviewed it for us. Still working on the seasonal content and stuff like that, but he's started to bounce out. Where their roadmap is like this game's a service model for that. So I was hoping they would bring over Diablo 4, which I think we will get eventually. I'm just not sure when. I think they want to roll out all the Call of Duty games first, right? Get everybody caught up there. And then they'll probably put on Modern Warfare 3 there. Why wouldn't they? Because then next year we get another Call of Duty game anyways. So if you want to hold back, but again, it comes back to the Microsoft stated, day one, all first-party studios drop their game on Game Pass. Dude, how do you not go for that, right? So no longer are we buying a Call of Duty game, Scott. Right? Just on Game Pass.
It's definitely going to change. It's definitely going to change the way Call of Duty games sell. We're going to see a lot of those numbers drop off in favor of Game Pass. But that is the step to the future, I think, as we get into subscription wars.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're seeing the shift in tides here go between buying a game day one, right? Modern Warfare 2 dropped last year, 800 million units in like 3 days. Just shy of $1 billion, right? Like, it's just insane. Like, wow, here we go. But it's one of the biggest IPs around. So now if you put that on Game Pass, where you already have an influx of what? I think that we were talking about 30 million install base. Granted, not everybody's going to play Call of Duty, because it's not for everybody. What does that do to that $800 million you made last year in 3 days, right? Now,
yeah.
Does that... But in that case, though, does it compensate on the Xbox Game Pass side and your subscription just goes up anyways? Does it matter? Does it really matter, Scott?
Yeah, I don't think it does. They're going to find a way of making this money continue.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time. But yeah, we'll see.
Whole deal was just so much money. You know, it has to be worth it. They must have done the math.
Well, $68 billion, right? Like, that's insane. What an insane amount of money there to bring over one publishing developing studio. Like, that is it. Now granted, they do have Activision Blizzard in there as well, right? And then Candy Crush, that whole other side, the mobile side. There's a lot more to it than just everybody just focused on Call of Duty. And even PlayStation just focused on Call of Duty. That's not the only reason Microsoft wanted them. But dude, I can't wait for this just to be, hey, we're now a first party studio over here at Microsoft and Xbox, and just move on and see what that future lines up for Game Pass. Because there's an extensive library you bring over, dude, and we'll be playing so many more games under the Activision brand. Pretty exciting times.
Absolutely. Halo Infinite might finally be where it should have been the whole time. I'm going to try and not sound like such a complainer, though. Halo Infinite Season 5 Reckoning adds new arena maps and Forge AI with a new firefight also on the way. This is Samuel Tolbert at Windows Central. Halo players can look forward to a slightly spooky new season. Developer 343 Industries shared an overview of Halo Infinite Season 5 Reckoning on Monday, revealing everything that players can look forward to. This season is packed with new additions, including 2 new arena maps. One of these maps, Prism, appears to include a giant needler crystal that can be shot to damage other foes. A bit strange. Kind of reminds me of Destiny, that. One of these maps... the other map is Forbidden. Looks like it's inspired by Delta Halo and Halo 2. Meaning it's kind of flood covered and kind of gross. If you don't like those flood levels from Halo 3, it might not be so friendly to you, but this season also adds a number of new cosmetic inspired by the flood, with bulbous pustules and slender tendrils coming off of the outside of Spartan armor. Arguably the biggest addition is the launch of Forge AI, allowing players to add banished enemies to their Forge creations. This gets into a whole lot of really good information for me. Players will get experience from custom matches when the season begins, and will be able to use any helmet on any core. That's the part where I'm going to try not to complain too hard. I don't like the core system, and I'm not sure if anybody does. My one complaint is still no playable elites. That's a problem. While all of this stuff arrives when the season begins on October 17th, there's more to look forward to further in. Firefight King of the Hill is on the way later in Season 5, adding a new version of the classic Halo firefight experience to the Halo Infinite game mode roster. And that's what has me excited. The idea that we can make Forge creations and then add spawns to it, it ends up becoming a firefight creative mode. And the idea of putting together a last stand scenario, remember Reach, and just kind of live as long as possible. I'm really excited for this.
That's cool. Is this enough to pull everybody back though, Scott? Like, it's been so long. I think this is Season 5. Dude, this game is out, what, 2 years ago now? Has it been 2 years?
I struggle to remember too. Has it been? It feels like it's been a very, very long time. Similarly to Battlefield, a similar experience there, but this one's coming up in more of a successful manner, I think. I've played a lot of Halo in the last month, maybe, and it's so much better than at launch. Like, they really have done a lot to kind of reverse course on this game,
which is great.
It does have me looking forward to the future, because at one point we were asking, you specifically were asking, is this kind of the last Halo?
Well, exactly. I think I'm happy for 343 to be sticking around and sticking it out, because it was a rough launch, right? Didn't click for everybody when it came to the single player, this new open map, this whole open world experience that we've never had the pleasure of playing before in a Halo game like that way, right? Where it was just go, away you go, and that was it. I enjoyed it. I know it wasn't for everybody, but I definitely had a great time playing the single player campaign. And then the multiplayer hit so hard at the very beginning, but then lost everybody so early on because there wasn't enough content to keep it going, right? There wasn't enough in the longevity roadmap for the game to stay alive. Here we are now, we're back, we're into Season 5, and this sounds to like, from what you're saying, Scott, you bounced into it. I have not made it back at all. But it's for you, you're having a good time. How many other people though are like me, played so early and just have never bothered to come back? Has me worried for the future of Halo. Is it too little too late? Right? Everything came in piecemeal. That was the problem. Halo came out. That was
the problem.
It was the problem, right? You didn't have Forge, you didn't have co-op, you didn't have this, you didn't have that. There's so many missteps along the way. They tried a different roadmap and it didn't work out for Halo, which is heartbreaking because it is such a beloved franchise when it comes to the Xbox brand. Everybody knows Xbox, Halo, Xbox, Fable, Xbox, right? They're starting to get some of these pillars in there. Forza, even though we have Forza Motorsport coming out today versus Forza Horizon, which will be next year. So I do like how they keep switching. I'm more on the Horizon, but either way, getting back into the world of Halo, opportunities are arising because of Forge mode, right? I think if they would have been there on day one, people would have been in there creating well, yeah, right, like yourself.
All those maps wouldn't have been an issue. We would just have recreated Valhalla and all the beloved classics from the old game. Still no Blood Gulch, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, there's a lot of demand for some of this old from the old brought over to the new game because people love those games, right? They love those maps. Somebody most times recreates those and then brings them over to the next, make it more current, this, that, and the other, and allows that community to build, to grow. Dude, you go on Twitch, how many people are watching it? I don't know if anybody's watching it anymore. I don't know who's all playing anymore, right? For everybody, I might go on my friends list, nobody's on it but you. So
yeah,
that's just it. There's one person I know of who's playing, but who else is playing? I'd love to know if anybody else is in there. What does the future of Halo look like, Scott? In your eyes, do you think there is a long roadmap when it comes to Halo, or are we just done now for Halo?
Oh, I think this is just kind of the refresh before the next wave of Halo. I think this is going to be a memorable moment because the way the launch was just not well received at all.
Yeah.
And this games of service, I don't think that's going to continue. That idea with Halo, the piecemeal kind of releases, the exclusion of co-op on day one, I don't think that's going to happen now. There's some valuable lessons learned, I hope.
Well,
but I think the new future of Halo looks positive. If we get enough people to come back because of this and co-op,
yeah,
I'm still recruiting for a co-op game right now. So I'm hoping I can convince some people to come back myself.
That's fair. We also have a new crew kind of coming in too at 343. Some of the big heads have left as of the last year and a bit. So now with some fresh blood in there, maybe that's enough to revitalize what Halo once was and to make it into the new and continue on in the future. Hopes are up, man. I'm telling you, season 5, if you're that excited, I might just have to jump back in. Scott, we talked about Call of Duty, and is this the Call of Duty killer? Not anytime soon, because XDEFIANT has been delayed once again, but no new release date was given. Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming, the official XDEFIANT Twitter account, has posted that the game has been delayed again. Yep. The delay comes after a slew of rumors circulating on the internet that the game could be released as soon as October 17th. The tweet reads, quote, "Thank you to everyone who participated in our recent public test session and continues to stand alongside us as we build XDEFIANT. The PTS once again showed us your appreciation for our fast-paced gunplay, uniquely crafted maps, objective-driven modes, and iconic faction roster." But, dude, that was it. That's a weird... Where's the rest of the quote? But it also surfaced some inconsistencies in the game experience that we need to address prior to launching our preseason. So we made the hard decision to delay the preseason of XDEFIANT. The team will continue working to address these issues and testing them to make sure we deliver on our goal of being best-in-class arcade shooter. We will share more information about preseason and testing as it comes. Thanks again for your support. We're working hard to make something really special, and we couldn't do it without you. End quote. So there it is, Scott. Once again, delayed. We're now getting into probably next year for XDEFIANT. First 6 months, last 6 months, Scott. What are you calling?
I don't think this is looking so good.
Oh, no!
How long has this game been in testing now? I feel like it's always been in a test server, and I don't know if it'll ever leave.
Here's the thing. Ubisoft has been really upfront about how this is going down. They obviously don't want to go for a release date now once again. But they never stated, though, that there was a release date. There was just rumors of October 17th, right? Nothing was official. They did come out and say, hey, we sent this off to PlayStation. We sent this off to Xbox for certification. Did not pass certification. Which when, right, you send it off, they got a bunch of checklists. They go, check, check, check. Nope, that didn't work, right? So server inconsistency, matchmaking errors, whatever the issues came up with, they stated, hey, this just didn't make cert. So we have to go back to make sure that we are able to polish up some of these issues and then should be able to push this out. Another test. Dude, like, I don't think I've seen a game have so many tests and not come out and just to be delayed once again. I think we do get it in the first 6 months next year. I think we get it probably in the first quarter of next year.
If it really is just remedying some issues before
Yeah.
cert, then if we're already at the doorstep of certification, yeah, I would expect the first 6 months.
What's
But
your
I think when it releases,
Yeah.
and it hits full launch, I don't think it's going to be terribly different than what we're experiencing now.
No, it's XDEFIANT. Is this on your radar, or is this something you're gonna pass over?
I think I'm going to pass over on this one.
Me too.
Specifically just because of the volume of shooters and the talk of Call of Duty coming to Game Pass now. I'm going to be very busy.
Everybody's looking for something new, something exciting, something to get into, right? XDEFIANT, I think, had its window when Call of Duty started to cool off a little bit this year, right? Again, Call of Duty's big. You're never gonna. It was one of those things, dude. I don't think Call of Duty will ever die. I think Call of Duty is just gonna keep pumping out game after game after game, and people just keep coming back and keep playing them. Like, man, can somebody beat out Call of Duty at all, or are they always gonna reign supreme at the top? And wonder if anybody is able to even match that. A lot of people go into XDEFIANT and they go, man, this is a solid game. If you like those fast-paced, quick shooters, this is one you should definitely check out. A lot of cool things going on in here, right? There's a lot of different factions you can get into, which has me kind of baffled as well. But what they've done is they've pulled all of the UBISOFT brands into XDEFIANT, which is cool, which does lend to being a shooter of this case, of this scenario. How it plays out when it launches, though, I don't know if it's going to have the legs. I think a lot of shooters come out and then they just die off, right? Will this one stick around? I don't know. Time will tell, but we're not getting it anytime soon, apparently. Let's see if we get it early next year. Scott, we got a hot one. It's the Crew MOTORFEST. Giving a quick update. Already 20% off, but there's a schedule. How this works? Ubisoft Store from the 10th to the 24th of October. PS4, PS5 is the 11th to the 18th of October. The Xboxes is the 13th to the 16th. And the Epic Game Store is the 14th to the 21st. Get your deal while it's hot.
Oh man, it hasn't even been a month yet. And
No.
This game is already starting to shake. That has me worried for the future of this game, as in different seasons coming out. There's still weekly stuff that they're adding. I'm really curious to see how far that's gonna continue on into the future, because I'm really enjoying my time with MOTORFEST.
You've had
I
a
just wrapped
blast.
it up.
Yeah,
I wrapped
exactly.
it up last night actually, and
Nice.
I'm hoping for more content because I keep coming back.
You've had a great time. I had a great time when I was playing. We've reviewed it on the show, loved it, but again, doesn't really compete with Forza Horizon, which is easily its competitor. However, already not even a month in, like you say, Scott, and discounted 20% off. Here's your chance. Jump in if you haven't. We had a blast playing it. Scott, dude, we're on the back roll again. There's a lot of games out today. What can everybody be playing?
We have Long Gone Days on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox One, X, and the Switch. Little Gator Game coming to PC, PlayStation 4, 5, and Xbox One. Curiously, no Xbox Series console there. Interesting. Forza Motorsport launches today on PC and Xbox.
Every car now has a variety of sound possibilities.
Roblox is now on PlayStation 4 and 5. They're just about everywhere now.
Yep.
Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs is now on PlayStation VR 2, previously on the PlayStation VR 1, I believe. Wildcard Football is on PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X, and the Switch.
There you go. Here's a few games to play today. And that'll wrap up today's episode of ITG Daily, where we bring you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. Thanks again for watching, and until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott.
We'll see you inside the game.